Oh my goodness, what an ending this battle has.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, man.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today I've got for you an any battle against BlazeTemplar. So the aim of my team is to bat and pass a sub and speed boosts out from Sourcebook into watchog and just sweep from there. So let's see if that happens in this game. All my other pokes I'll explain as they come out. On my opponent's end, there's nothing really to worry about. Okay, he's got a slacking, but I can work around that with Hippopotas and Mischievous. Sourcebook walls every Alomomola and Mischievous ever made, and Hippopotas shuts down Luxray, and Mantine can deal with Altaria and Gardevoir, barring the Thunderbolt from Gardevoir, so let's jump straight into it. Warning, massive slowdown coming. So I'll give you a hint, how fast someone confirms on the team preview screen gives me a really good idea of what someone will lead with. If someone confirms quickly, then they have a very set lead whatever happens and they haven't predicted your lead, simply because they haven't had time to think. So 95% of the time if someone does that it will be an obvious lead, such as an entry hazard lead like Armaldo, or it'll be a Volt Turner such as Primeape. If they don't have something like that, then it takes more of a think, as is the case here. My opponent confirmed very quickly, but he doesn't have a very obvious lead. Now I didn't put him on Alomomola, Mischievous or Gardevoir to lead because they're more likely to be walls. Realistically, I put it down to Luxray or Slacking because they're quick, strong and they've got good coverage. Altaria maybe, but you don't want to be after Draco Meteor and then switch out first turn. So I go with Hippopotas because it can take any hit from Luxray or Slacking, barring a very rare Hidden Power Ice from a Specs Luxray, and this just gives me a free opportunity to set up Stealth Rocks because there's no point Earthquaking with Mischievous around. And I know the Will-O-Wisp is incoming, but the best thing to take this is Hippopotas and then I can just phase him out, start racking up in the Stealth Rocks damage because he doesn't have a Rapid Spinner. And I don't want to take a Draco Meteor here because I will need Hippopotas for Luxray and Slacking like I've said. So I can just go into my special one Mantine, and this Draco Meteor does so much damage. You're probably thinking it only did 50%, but Mantine's special defense at max hits 415 I think, which is absolutely monstrous. So that tells me that Altaria is definitely choice bets. I know he will switch into his own special wall, probably the Mischievous, to take an Ice Beam, because another Draco Meteor at -2 won't KO Mantine, so I can pull the double switch into Sourcebook because, like I've said, Sourcebook walls every Mischievous set ever. Mischievous only usually runs Shadow Ball, T-Bolt, Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split, and Sourcebook behind a sub just isn't going to be affected by that. So I can start to set up as he misclicks the Shadow Ball, but it doesn't matter too much because Thunderbolt, as we'll see, won't break subs. Now, I can't bat and pass to Watchog yet because Mischievous walls it completely, so I decide to go into my own Mischievous, which is Choice Specs, and start putting some pressure on, because as soon as Mischievous goes down, Watchog is free to go to town on his team. Now, I don't want to lock myself onto Shadow Ball here because he does have the slacking, so Thunderbolt will at least hit everything on his team, and it's doing a pretty respectable amount to Luxray, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to KO with one more. But it's not a problem because Hippopotas is such a good physical wall, as you probably already know. I can't rate it highly enough. And he keeps going for Crunch, which is telling me that he's choiced, as he does switch out into the Bane of NU, Alomomola, as I do slack off back to full just in case he wanted to stay in and go for another Crunch. But thankfully this time I actually have an Alomomola counter in Sourcebook as he wishes up, and he's probably going to pass that into Luxray or Altaria. I probably would have gone with Altaria just because Sourcebooks can't really touch Altaria, so I can get some switch initiative just by bat and passing out. He does decide to go to Luxray, so once again I can just summon Hippopotas to do some walling for me. Now I do decide to go for the obvious play in just Earthquaking here, as he does predict that nicely and going into Mischievous with the Levitate ability, but in return I predict the Will-O-Wisp and just stay in to slack off. Now here he makes a good play in Will-O-Wisping one more time. I thought he would Shadow Ball. Usually you'd say a burn Sourcebook is a bad thing, but I do only have the one attack, so it's not massively detrimental to me. So once again I can just sub down knowing that Mischievous can't really do anything more to me. And I'm pretty confident at this point that Luxray is Scarfed, and he does outspeed Sourcebook, which just confirms to me that he is Scarfed because Sourcebook's base speed is so much higher than Luxray's. So I go for this, the Horn Leech just to see what he decides to lock himself into. This time, rather than going with Hippopotas once again, I do decide to make the more aggressive switch into Liepard, who does also resist the Crunch. And this is a red card Unburden Liepard. The aim is that you take a hit, and then they get red carded into something hopefully unfavourable. And on the same turn you take a hit, you sub down, giving you the Unburden boost, putting you at 544 speed, and then you just go from there. My other moves are Home Claw, Sucker Punch and Seed Bomb because that's about the best Liepard can do. Its move pool is absolutely atrocious. So I thought a Sucker Punch might KO, but Altaria does have decent bulk to it. So I do have to go into Mantine to go for the Revenge Kill because he dies if he switches back into Stealth Rocks anyway, so he's more than likely going to stay in. And here it is, the moment of the match that finally Slacking comes in to demolish something. However, I do have Protect, and if you have Protect, there is nothing Slacking can do to you. So I can catch whatever comes in on the switch with a Confuse Ray, and hopefully force another switch from the Confusion Hacks. It is Mischievous, and although it is probably going to Will-O-Wisp, I didn't want to go to Sourcebook because that would just stall the game out. I already burned, so it won't do anything to me. but it doesn't help in trying to KO Mischievous for watchog to come in and start sweeping, so once again, aggressive switching is aggressive, as I do just go for that choice spec Shadow Ball, almost KOing as he almost KOs me with his own Shadow Ball. So I decided to save Mischievous because it may still be useful, like I might be able to trick choice specs onto something like a Mola, which would be absolutely incredible. But I can go into Swordswork with the Shadow Ball immunity, and even though I am burned, Horn Leech should still be able to KO from there because I do have max attack. I should probably change that to max HP for this, but max attack helps me there. So in comes Slacking, but I can just Death Fodder Mischievous, who unfortunately goes down to burn damage instead. But now I've seen a really good opportunity. He has to wait one turn or switch, and that'll give me a free Swords Dance with Watchog. And because I do have the Focus Sash, I can definitely live any single hit from what he wants to switch into, and then KO it in return. So he goes into Gardevoir, and he actually tricks me the Choice Scarf, which is absolutely amazing, because now I'm at +2, able to outspeed his entire team, and Watchog, the hardest normal gym Pokemon after Miltank, is cleaning up. He tricked me the Choice Scarf, which is pretty unusual by my reckoning. He has 4 choice Pokemon, which is certainly an interesting team makeup. It definitely makes it a little bit harder for yourself. I get the crit on Alomomola at the end there. That didn't really matter because Alomomola couldn't have KO'd me, and I still had other pokes that just sped up the inevitable, and that will be a good game. So thank you BlazeTemplar, that was a very enjoyable game. It's not very often an opponent helps you to win, but I hope you all enjoyed that, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.